evening, good evening. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who have been with me for some time, I do thank you for coming in on Sunday evenings to listen with me as I share some positivity with you. For those of you who are new, welcome. I'm excited to have you as well. You're listening to Victoria. My channel is Positivity in Motion, where I share tips with you to help you kickstart into having a fantastic week. What we've been going over for the past several weeks is the conscious and subconscious mind, and more importantly, how the subconscious mind works. I believe that it is so important that we have to make sure that the energy we are providing to it, the subconscious, is positive. Now, don't get me wrong, and do not think that I believe or that I look through rose-colored glasses, even though my glasses are rose-colored, that I believe that the world is always fantastic, that there are no problems that exist, and all we have to do is think positive and be happy, and that everything will always work out okay. I do believe that, but I also know that on this side of life, there are many things that happen that can somewhat set us back physically, mentally, financially, socially, every aspect that you can think of. But more importantly, what I like to share and what I'm sharing on my channel is that by being positive and feeding our subconscious with positivity, that we can help harness our thoughts so that we have a better probability of having success in our lives. And that success is done through, from my opinion and from my research and what I'm learning more about it, is through the subconscious mind. As we've talked and I've shared, the mind basically is comprised of two compartments. We talk about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. So let's get in motion. I have been given a lot of credence to the subconscious mind, but I also don't want to mislead you into thinking that the conscious mind is not as important as the subconscious. The subconscious and the subconscious, though, deal with two different areas. The conscious deals with the reality of the black and white, and the subconscious deal with what we impress upon it from our conscious mind, and even from the things that we think about and the things that we mentally project in our minds. So the two work hand in hand. We have to help, though, our conscious mind convey to our subconscious the idea, because as soon as it is submitted to the subconscious mind begins to act and begins to proceed immediately to trying to put into action whatever it is that we have perceived, whether it's real or not. Whether it's real or not. And that's what we need to remember. The subconscious mind does not differentiate between right and wrong, true or untrue, yes or no. It simply goes into action based on what it receives. So that's why we have to be so careful, and it's so important that we spend time daily, and honoring and doing our affirmations, our positive self-talk, listening and reading to materials that support the subconscious mind, which draws on the infinite power within us, the energy and wisdom that we have. And remember, doesn't know if it's true or untrue. It's only acting. And we've talked about that in other videos that I've done. And I hope you'll take some time to go back and listen and review some of those. I am getting better and still reading and learning about YouTube and how to do titles, and there's a whole lot. But I should be making some improvements soon. But right now, I am just glad that I am still here. That was my goal last year when I started, was to not quit. And I'm so thankful that I haven't. Now, you may ask yourself the question, If the subconscious mind doesn't care whether it's yes or no, right or wrong, true or untrue, then why bother? Why does it matter? It matters because what we pay attention to is what draws the subconscious mind. What we put our minds into is very important so that we can have a better say in the outcome of the events that occur in our lives. And most of us want those events to be positive. We are all aware that the conscious mind is the reasoning mind. It tells us the truth a lot of times. And then some. I mean, stuff we don't really even want to hear. For example, let's say you want to have or you have to do a presentation. Your conscious mind is going to tell you things like, you know, you suck at doing that. That's not a good choice for you. What are you thinking? Why are you doing this? These are the things we're going to hear from the conscious mind. And that may or may not be true, although we know that the fear of speaking is highly noted for many people. But that's what the conscious mind, it points out all the if, ands, and buts. Whereas the subconscious mind is what we want to feed because it's the subconscious mind that tells us the opposite. It tells us more positive things, and it will step in and try to help rescue you so that you can better handle the situation that your conscious mind is bringing in fear giants for you to have to deal with. The conscious mind is a reality check. The subconscious mind deals with what we may consider impossibilities, things that we never thought about, things that we never dreamed of. And believe it or not, things that we can achieve. Because if you can believe it, you can achieve it. And if you can dream it, you can do it. But just as your subconscious mind is saying, you know, you suck, and that you can shut that down. And that's what you need to do. You need to shut that down. Saying something to yourself like, remember, because the subconscious is not whether it's true or not true. It's just going on what is being fed by the conscious mind. So we're trying to rechange that. We're trying to regroup that. So when the subconscious mind is listening, you don't want to hear it say, you know, you suck at that. You might want it to hear you say something in the reverse of that. And you may say something like, no, cancel, cancel. We talked about that as well. I do not suck at that. I'm good at speaking. I'm practicing my materials and I will give a great presentation. I'm going to be wonderful. Subconscious mind is listening and hearing that, and it'll start revving you up so that you can feel that. You say that to reverse what the conscious mind knows and sometimes may be true, so you can get yourself across the huddle or the challenge of whatever it is that you need to do. The subconscious mind will kick you into action to make sure that that thing happens. And these are things that we have to do. We have to make sure that our self-talk is positive and not negative. Now, hear me well, people. Hear me well now. I'm not telling you what I suspect. I'm telling you, I believe in the power of the subconscious. So much so that I spend time daily listening to messaging that help me reprogram many of the tapes that I've had in me, like many of us, from childhood on. I am trying to reprogram that so that my thoughts and my ideas are mine and not what someone else may have imprinted upon me. We have to change those thoughts that are more likely not true. We hear all kind of things throughout our lives until we get to adulthood. And a lot of those things are not true. Most of those things are not true. And this is what I'm saying. I'm convinced that when we feed positivity to our daily lives, to our mental thought processes, to our subconscious mind, it will, in response, rev up, step in to assist us. It can help us lessen the blow, the gut punch, and sometimes we do get gut punches on things that we go through, things that are not very pleasant. We have to do that. So just keep that in mind, that the subconscious mind is not keeping a track of whether it's true or not. You can tell it anything and it's going to believe what you say. If you say, I'm going to do well at this presentation, that's what it's going to do. Now, do put the work in. Don't just say something and then sit on the stool or do nothing and think everything's going to work out. You do have to put some effort behind what you're trying to do. But I'm talking about those negative thoughts that gnaw at us while we're trying to accomplish something, that try to postpone us, keep us from doing what we need to do in order to receive the success that's divinely ours. It is ours. We can claim that. And I'm saying work on the subconscious mind. Feed it positivity. Do your affirmations. Listen to your positive word tracks. Read positive books, materials, and smile and be happy. The body is reactive. If you're frowning and sad, that's what it's going to be. And sometimes we do feel like frowning and being sad. I'm not saying to totally be oblivious to how you're feeling. Own the feeling. But if you have things that you have to do, you have to set it to the side, set it to the side, set it to the side, rev up, coach yourself with your subconscious, and go on. Everything that the conscious mind tells us is not true. When it says things like, we can't do it, you're a failure, you're stupid, you're fat, you're skinny, you're ugly, that stuff may be true, but we are still worthwhile, lovable people. That's what the subconscious mind needs to hear. I am still a worthwhile, lovable person. So this week, as I sign off, I am challenging you to find positive affirmations. You can Google it. You can see stuff on YouTube. It's everywhere. Find you some. And we've talked about this as well, and I'll cover that a little later too, probably as we continue to move forward. But find some. Say them out loud. Look in the mirror at yourself and tell yourself, I'm proud of you. I love you. Then give yourself a big hug and shake so the subconscious mind knows you're serious about this thing. Shake and say, I love you and I'm proud of you. And change your internal tape. I'm not saying it's going to be an overnight process, but many of us are in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. It took years. You even may be a teenager. It's going to take some time, but daily practicing positivity will help you change your internal tape. I'm Victoria. This is Positivity in Motion. I am signing off. I hope you have a fantastic day and that you wake up knowing you are remarkable, you are resilient, you are here for a specific reason. Find out what it is and go to work. Make each day count, knowing that you can make a change on this side of life. Peace out and have a fantastic week.